Hello! It's my second stream. Let's see how this goes. Glad everybody's here, and we'll start working on this ring a bit more. So right now I'm just going to be adding some gems here, but I'm going to have to manually add it to them. So let's see, I'm going to ungroup it, which means that I'm not going to have them all connected together. So I guess I'm going to start from the top. I think that might be the best way. Alright. So I'm just going to move it up, and then I'm going to straighten it out a bit. Oops. Wrong way. Alright. Maybe. Let's see how this works. So I might start up here. The idea is to make sure it's as straight as possible. Okay. Alright. I like where this is at. Okay. Alright. So I removed certain colors on certain objects so that it'd be easier to like manipulate the pieces back and forth. Otherwise, everything becomes a jumbled mess. But, okay. I'm trying to decide if I need to keep these together or not. I'm thinking, let's see. I think this is where this is at right now. Well, either way, I'm gonna have to just like play them together eventually. So I guess I'm just gonna start doing it like this. Yeah, I don't have a feature to where I can just put stones automatically, not yet. There is a program I'm looking at called Grasshopper that I hope will work eventually. That'll work with what I'm trying to do. Yeah, see, I can't really like put them next to each other exactly. Or actually, I need to shove this over here. Alright. Well, then I could just... I guess what I'm trying to say is... I don't have all the tools, not yet. Alright. Oops. Okay. Oh, I'm just trying to... Let's see how this will work. Alright, so I'm gonna try another angle. Yeah, this might actually work. I do like the thickness so far. Okay. I know I said these are stones, but they look like orange circles. But that's because I have the tops of them. It's going to cut a section off at the very end. Everything looks a bit funny at first, but trust the process. Okay. I have to make sure all the structure is right and all the proportions are 100% accurate. Okay. I think from here I'm going to have to do this from the side instead of from the top, because it just curls and down like lower a bit. Okay. Oops. Yeah, I might have to do it like that, maybe? Alright. I'm gonna start lowering them from this angle. The tricky part is, I'm gonna hide this too, is This little compass thing is very useful, but sometimes it doesn't have all the angles that I want. Okay. This is a lot of back and forth kind of stuff. Alright. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get it to where it's going to lay flat on the surface. So the gem is hidden underneath all this stuff I have. And yes, even though I have it on the surface, it's still kind of like not even, so I'm going to have to move it back up and then back down. And even that, it's still kind of like slightly off. Let's try to get this as close as we can. I think we almost got it, almost. Alright, I think this will work for now. Okay. Let's do the next one. Alright, so... Thinking... I wish I could just flow these onto the surface, but the problem is it always distorts the objects whenever I try that command. And these have to be exact. Otherwise, I don't want the areas where I'm going to set the stones once it's cast to be off. Yeah, guess there's no way around it then. Alright. Let's see how this will work. Alright. Okay. What I might do is actually just ungroup this, and then I'm going to keep the prongs together, but separate from the actual gem. Alright. So these are together, and these are separate. Ugh. Okay, let's try to get this where I need it to. At least get a good angle here. Oh. What this? Delete? Or no? Yeah, trying this in perspective view can get a little frustrating. And yes, this probably is the longest way to do this, but like I said, I don't have that feature yet to actually get the gems on one line, not yet anyways. Okay, I'm just gonna delete this, and this is what we do. Ungroup, and then, okay, let's see if this will work. Alright. Almost. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of the direction I was trying to go with. Okay. So I'm just gonna focus on just the diamond, or not diamonds, but small white gems for now. Okay. I almost got it. Just a little bit. Oh, maybe a little too much. Okay. I'm separating the prongs from the gems on the rest of them. And this way I don't keep. So I don't risk doing just that. Okay. Alright. So I'll lower this down. Oops. There we go. Everything froze just for a second there. Okay. Alright, so I had to concentrate there. This part's always kind of like... I had to do this on another ring where the program... I was using a different program at the time, but I couldn't just use it to put the stones over the lines, really. Because they were just quite a lot. The lines were very over and under type of look. And the program would always just kind of mess it up. What I mean by that, they wouldn't be aligned with each other. And I would just have to manually do it anyway, so. However, and then on top of that, the stones were a lot larger, which definitely made it more difficult to get the same look in the design. There you go. Almost there, but it's like they're too close to each other, so you can't just like almost. Yeah, okay. Alright, great. Anyway, so this ring I had to manually do it. Now what was really tricky was actually getting all the cutters correctly. Because this ring was very just a lot of loops and bridges, I guess, if you call them. It made all the cutters just really uneven. I think that's what I would have done next time was probably just have laid them out first before I build the rings, really. Usually you build the ring and then you try to see the stones, but probably with that ring I should have laid out the stones first and then built the ring. Because I ended up having to do a lot of weird cuts to make them fit. I think these stones were like 2.5 millimeters, something like that. Yeah, almost there. Kind of. Kind of. Alright. Alright. Let's go. So I'm gonna keep going till up to this point. I will build the shade eventually. Let's be at the bottom. Now I'm gonna make this section actually smaller or thinner. Same with the other side. But for now, I just want to be sure that I have the stones that I have. And this is laying out, but I am just gonna move the top piece right here. Now that didn't go very well. Okay. That's the annoying thing about doing it like this, because otherwise it's hard to like get your bearings. Almost. Okay. Most jewelry designers, there's two types of them. One that does just drawing or puts together stones together to create a look to it. The other designers use a program like what I'm doing and actually build the ring, or at least get the point where it's going to be settable and able to be cast. So it's like the architect portion of designing. But even though they're both called designers, their jobs are very different, funny enough. And I guess the reason why they have the same name is because the designers, at least the kind that I do, we create designs also. We don't just build based off of pictures all the time, but it's still quite different. They still, even though we have different skill sets, stuff like that. I think there should probably be two names to differentiate the two, because one can use to actually build it versus the other has just the idea or the vision. But it also depends how big the team is for jewelry. I guess it was fine, and then okay. That's good now. I can just change it just a bit. Alright. Yes. It's coming along. They're all kind of lining up right. So let me move the orange to show you what I mean. So this is what I'm trying to achieve. Just get these all lined right here. Okay. And then once I actually cut into the green thing, then it's gonna be an area for the stones to actually be set. Alright, let's go to the next one. I can move these guys up a bit. Much higher. Okay, I do not know what just happened there. That's weird. Okay. I do not know what that was. Not at all. Okay. I'm actually starting to get a little dizzy, actually. Funny enough. Okay. See how we're looking. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the same thing on the other side because it's not symmetrical, not 100%. So, do this once I finish this side. Okay. Yeah, it probably didn't help. Alright. Alright, got another one. Okay. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, hello. Hey, Bruce Cameron. I've been designing jewelry for, oh, about 6 years now. Actually, no more like, it's probably been my 7th year, really. I've been designing and creating jewelry for both for that long. Sorry, I didn't see you at first. I started as, well, I went to school for this originally. It was just for 2 years at a trade school, and then I went to, got my first job in a small town, and I started off as just their polisher. I would polish and clean their jewelry. That went on for about like 3 months until a position opened for me to do repair work. So I repaired jewelry for about 3 years, but I still did majority of the polishing. And then eventually, around my 3rd year, I got to do more stone setting and then more custom work. And then after that, then I moved to a different job and was just strictly stone setting for a bit. And then I moved on to fully designing more jewelry, more so, plus stone setting. But I would always do like designing jewelry on the side and stuff like that. But up until like, I guess, yeah, I guess the actual answer for designing jewelry, three years now, I guess, more full-time designing, but I've been making jewelry for about 7 years. Fine jewelry. Jewelry also was a hobby for me since I was 5 years old. I've done let's see. But when I was like a young kid, I just made jewelry that was like beadwork and a lot of beaded and wire wrapping and things like that. I didn't actually get into like working with metal until I was in high school. They had a class where they taught like basic silversmithing. It was just like a weekend. It wasn't a semester long class, but it was just for hobbyists, and I really liked it for sure then, and I just figured that's something I really want to do as a career, and it worked out for me for the most part. It worked out very well actually. And jewelry was the one hobby that stuck with me the most growing up, and what I really enjoyed. I had a lot of other hobbies, but jewelry was definitely my favorite. It still is. Yeah, it's crazy to me that I've been a jeweler for about 7 years now. I keep thinking I'd say 6 years, but I guess this technically would be my seventh year. It's actually a very short amount of time for jewelers mostly, because most jewelers usually been in the field for about 10 plus years. But eventually I'll get there. I remember my first ring was this silver ring. I needed help with the instructor to make it for sure, but once it was finished, it was it was just a silver ring that had a black onyx stone. I think it was onyx, but I'm not sure actually. I don't have it anymore, but it was a little heart shape. It had cool like cracks in the stone, and it kind of gave this really cool like texture to it. It was just a regular bezel setting, and the shank of it, the metal portion, it was hammered. Had that hammer textured finish to it. And I remember like one thing that was difficult was when I was in that class was the polishing part. Just well, for me, learning how to polish was definitely very difficult for me, especially in the field. But in that class especially, all we had to learn to do was he just gave me like a steel wool, and I would just rub the steel wool over the silver. But that took me about 3 hours, I remember. And that part was kind of difficult at first because that was just a really long time for me. But yeah, I really like that ring, and I don't know. Okay, I don't know 100% what happened to it, but when I lived in the dorms, when I went to college, I was learning how to make jewelry and stuff, but I made the mistake of leaving it out on my desk. We had we always had people come in to inspect our dorm and stuff like that to make sure everything was good, but one day I couldn't find it anymore, and worried something happened to it, and I wouldn't be able to find a unique stone like that ever again. That makes me kind of sad. But let me see. Wrong color. Alright, so I'm gonna add some more sections. This direction. Oops. I didn't mean to give a long-winded answer. I guess when I think of designer jewelry, I think of it a little bit differently than being a bench jeweler, even though they are almost the same thing. But in the jewelry industry, there's a lot of different avenues of jewelry you can get into. You don't necessarily have to stay in one thing, which is pretty neat. But most people think that you do every portion of it for the most part. I mean, we do, but there's so many like different sections of jewelry that specialize that usually one person will stick with one thing and be really good at it, compared to other jobs have like a lot of different facets to it. What I specialized in was custom work. It's because it was always like doing something different. Okay, I think we made it. Now I gotta do now I gotta do the same thing for the prongs. And hopefully I'll go a little faster this time. So for example, as far as like, yeah, I'm glad I have this prong separate than the gems because it kind of would have made things a little difficult to just keep on like fiddling with, I guess, and keep adjusting all the time. So, let's see. I don't know if this bringing these will help, but let's see. Alright, maybe not. Okay. So in the jewelry, you have the owner, and then you have the sales, and then there's the jewelry designer, and then there's the jeweler that does the setting work and the repair work, and then they usually have a polisher. In like big jewelry companies, that's usually how it's laid out. And then they also have not just the sales, but they have the gemologist that will usually specialize in appraisals and look at the gems and do research and then find out where it came from and then how much it's worth. So there's usually like a giant team for large jewelry companies that have all those areas where they specialize in. I think that'll work. Alright. Maybe. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Okay. So every time I design jewelry, I usually have two prongs for all the small stones. One that's a long version and one's the short version. And the short version is just for rendering purposes. And that way I can show whoever I'm making this ring for, or the piece I'm working for, how it would look like when it's finished as best as possible. Because otherwise they'll ask like, why are the prongs are so long? And so I'll tell them like, well, it's usually so that I can have extra metal to set against. But instead of having to do that, I usually just remove them and then have the smaller ones right there for them to view. But if I remove the large ones when I'm actually casting and then stone setting, then I won't have metal to actually set the stones with. And that's a problem because then they won't stay in the setting when they need to. I think I'll just keep the orange cylinders off just so that it's easier to place the prongs at. If I will do what I want eventually. Okay, I'm gonna take a little glance at this ring. I'm trying to think of ahead of time. Now I'm gonna make these smaller for sure, but then I'll have to tweak them a bit. Let's see, did I finish? Yeah, okay. So I did all of that last time. So now, I'm trying to think of how to best get the shape right. Might make this a bit thinner as well. I might add small blocks in between where the emeralds are gonna sit. This should be fine. I might add a little bit of extra support in the gaps, but not so where it's noticeable, but just to where it'll just be kind of tucked under. And this, I am gonna move this a bit, and then I might remove the top stone. Okay. Alright. Yeah. I hate when it starts turning too much. And then it kind of gets a little disorienting. Almost there. Kind of. Alright. They are too angled outward. I don't like that. Okay. That's starting to look good. Alright. Well, that worked pretty well. I don't usually grab the center of this. This little compass thing is they call it a gumball. Like the little cartoon. It's very useful for stuff like this. Otherwise, oops. Otherwise, it helps. It's very difficult to try to make sure everything's oriented. Oh, that was weird. Wrong angle. Okay. Or so I thought. Ugh. Okay. Almost there. Alright. There we go. Well. Uh, okay. Yeah, this is what I mean. It's just kind of like making sure everything's straight. Okay. I think I got it. I think so. Alright. Now for the next one. Ah. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Alright. Oh. I guess I'm just trying to grab the center and then I can just kind of move it. That. So I've had a very good week as far as like jewelry and all that. All my pieces I worked on this week went very well. Which is what I like, really. So one of the hardest parts about jewelry, or at least being a jeweler, is having to recreate hinge work or hinges, stuff that like opens and closes. That is the one thing that's super difficult through CAD design and handmade and on the bench. When I work on the bench, I'm talking about when it's in physical form and I'm actually setting it on my jeweler's bench. That's something that most experienced jewelers have struggle with is hinges. Because it doesn't take much for the gears to get loose whenever you're making sure everything fits. But if that's something you're able to get really good at, then that is a invaluable skill. That took me a very long time to learn. And it's very frustrating. My first, probably one of the most frustrating projects I was learning in school was hinge. I don't know why. Well, I mean, I know why it's so difficult, yes. But sometimes I wonder, like, it had to be that difficult. I had to create the tubing for the two pieces to open and close. But to do that, I had to drill through a whole sheet of metal, of brass. We worked with brass first at school, and then they let us work with gold our last semester. And I just remember taking several hours just doing that. And our drill bits that we use are really, really small. I'm talking like under a millimeter size. Oh yes, our metric system we use is not standard. It's just our work's just too small, so we actually go with metric system. So mine's completely like in the metric system, and We don't work with inches and stuff like that. Everything's all millimeters and centimeters. Ugh, this is kind of annoying. Okay. I think I might delete this one. This is what I'm gonna do. I'll bring one of them, just group it, bring it down, and I don't know, just let's see. I don't like that it's already kind of. Okay. What am I gonna do? Turn it this way, making sure it's kind of straight. Ugh, I don't like that extra material right there. Gotta delete that. Okay. I don't type in, if I can get away with them, I don't type in all my commands into Rhino, into my program, because it takes too long. So I used my macros and attached the commands to the side buttons on my mouse. It makes things much faster and a lot easier. Okay, so now I have that. Just kind of shift it to this side. And much easier. There we go. Cool. So today I was learning for the first time about what temperaments are. And those are like, they're kind of similar to like personality types, but it was just a video I was listening to when I was working on projects today. But it's basically, there's four of them, and people can be more than one. It can be two of them, usually. The temperaments are basically, they're what kind of like your natural inclination is and your nature. If that makes sense? The first one, although I can't pronounce them very well. Let's see, caloric was the first one, where it's more of a person that's very goal oriented. So those are like the good traits about them. Kind of like a obvious type A personality. But they're not vice, but like, I guess bad qualities would be like they can be a bit too aggressive, or they put the goals over the people they're with. So they would just have to work on like having more compassion and stuff like that. And the other one was the like, pronounce it like, start with an S. It definitely, the second one was definitely like more about, they were definitely very people oriented and very energetic, but their like bad qualities is they can just be distracted so much, and they're not very consistent with like goals and stuff like that. And the third one started with a let's see, I should have looked this up before I talked about this. I thought it was very interesting, but I don't remember the names very well. I just remember one very well, was the melancholic. But the third one was started with an F, I believe. But they're very like calm and collected and peaceful, but their thing is like, or at least their bad quality is they can just kind of be too relaxed on things or kind of lazy. The fourth one is the one I remember, melancholy. Now they can be very deep thinkers and think deeply about subjects, and they tend to be like artists as well. but their bad traits they didn't get into, like, be too sad too often. Anyway, that I probably did that video terrible injustice just talking about it, but I just thought it was interesting about temperaments and stuff like that and personalities. Now, personality types, there's actually 16 of them. So it's different than temperaments, but personalities are, well, personalities is what I meant. Those are like how, not just how you view life, but like how, kind of how you think of yourself and how you approach the world in a way. And but they're labeled with the first letter with I or E, just introverted or extroverted. But I just find it really interesting, and they're kind of fun to learn about, and makes sense why some people get upset in certain things or they thrive in certain like environments. Yeah, I'm almost there. Alright. I've been trying some more teas lately, but I usually don't ever drink. As far as teas, like, I always prefer the black teas like Earl Grey and English breakfast and stuff like that, but lately, this past year, I would say, I've tried like several different types of green teas and a lot of different herbal teas. I've really gotten into herbal teas, and I never thought I would. I didn't used to like them, but they've been like a lot easier on my stomach. Black teas can be kind of heavy on the stomach if you haven't eaten anything. At least that's for me, my personal. I'm not sure why, but the herbal teas I've been trying lately are blueberry and raspberry and peach. I'm not a huge. I don't really like blueberry tea that much, or at least this particular one, but there's a really good one from this one company called HTO. It's like a little tea shop. They have really good blueberry tea, and it's one of their few hot teas. They specialize mostly in iced tea, but their few like hot teas that they have is blueberries. But then what I really appreciate that they do is they throw in some lemon in there, but like a lot of it though, so it makes it really tart. I really like the tart flavors of like food in general. It's kind of why I really love raspberries because they got that. It's like more sour than sweet. Okay. Alright, last one. Hooray. Okay. Oh, yes. Hi, 8413. Okay. Matcha. Interesting. I'll definitely look into that. Normal, regular matcha is definitely one of my favorite teas, for sure. But I'll definitely look into that one. Gen matcha. Okay. Alright, awesome. We got one side done. So, let me just show you the pink. This is kind of how it will look like once it's set. Alright. Cool, cool. Oh, thank goodness. Alright. So now, I'll just delete that. Now I will just mirror one section a little bit to the other side to get it started. Okay. Alright. I'm just going to move this over here. I'm going to hide this. Alright. Okay. So we're going to do this again. Did I put prongs on the other side? Yes, I did. Great. Alright, I'm just trying to concentrate and make sure I get it. I think I can move this a bit lower. Maybe. Uh, yeah, okay. I think that'll work. Alright, here we go again. Well, other tea I really want to try is dandelion tea. But like specifically dandelion root tea. I heard it's like a really good coffee replacement. I mean that's not why I'm gonna go try it out, but like basically it's like they look like roots or something in the ground and then you just ground them up as if it were coffee and then like strain it. Me, I definitely want to try that out. I need to. I have it on my wish list on my Amazon account. I'm thinking about it forever. Yeah, I do enjoy coffee as well. I didn't start drinking coffee till I was like 25 though. That's because like my new job at the time that I worked kind of briefly started kind of early for me, so I needed something to help me wake up when I would commute to work. And I kind of liked it ever since, really. But I have been leaning towards decaf again because sometimes regular caffeine, like coffee, is like too much for my heart sometimes. Kind of. Or I just feel like, not that I'm more alert, but I'm just like on edge more, and I know it's like from too much caffeine. I guess it's kind of why I've always liked tea, because it's like not too much, or maybe just enough. I don't know. That's one of my favorite things I like about matcha. It's got more caffeine than other teas, but it's actually really, it's just enough to where you actually are alert. But what I like about coffee too is like put cream in it. I don't actually add sugar to it for the most part. Usually just add cream and it's like perfect. It's like a nice like type of warm drink to have. This other unusual drink I did try. Well, it's very heavy, but it was good. It's like good for like very I don't know once a year I guess. It's this beet latte. So you make this latte with actual beets, and then you just put it through a blender, usually canned beets, and then you heat it up over a stove top, and then you add coffee to it, and maple syrup, and then I think I can't remember, maybe cream, I believe, and then that's it. And it was really good, but it was like I said, it was really heavy. So I feel like craving like beets or something. Beets are really good for your blood, so it's actually a really good drink to have if like that's craving that separate nutrient or something, or you don't really want to eat them for dinner, but it's like you want to just have them like in a different way, I guess. Because I like beets, but not very often. Oh goodness. All right, looks good. Cool. Let's keep going. Alright. One of the fun things I like to do while I'm designing is, I mean, this live streaming part is new for me, but usually I've been like, I used to just listen to things, but now I've been watching movies. I enjoy this like free movie channel on YouTube, or I usually listen to or watch Paramount Plus or some other streamer type of shows. It's been actually more fun. I've been able to catch up on movies I haven't seen in years, and watch movies I've never seen before, but I want to always like dedicate the time to watch a movie. But this way I can kind of just get my movie fixed while I'm working. Alright. This is going a lot smoother. Or it's not. I think it is. Probably isn't, but I just think it is. Alright. So tomorrow's Friday, so I can stay up late. I'll have to go to bed super early. Well, actually, I don't go to bed early. I should. Yeah, for the jewelry industry, most jewelry stores, their schedule is Tuesday through Saturday. For 6 years, I've worked Tuesday through Saturday schedule. That's fine. It's actually like the benefit about it is like having Mondays off because it really helps like with me getting my errands done and everybody else is open Monday. Especially all like government type of jobs or whatever. If I need to get appointments in, Monday was just made things a lot easier. But the downside of it is like not having Saturdays. I missed out on a lot of fun things because of like having to work Saturdays. But that's kind of how retail is, and I don't know about everybody else, but when somebody like works Saturdays, like nobody else really like remembers you work Saturdays. It's kind of funny, really. And then you have to remind them. But then like it's kind of gets kind of tricky trying to get like time off for like certain events and stuff like that. I don't go out much, or do things on Saturday, so it wasn't like the end of the world or anything like that for me. But it was annoying this one time because I wanted to do 5K races for a while again. I used to do a lot more running, and all the races are on Saturdays, so I had to really like plan it out and like look online forever to find a race that was on a Sunday. That's the only like bummer or downside it was, and then I didn't really do much racing anymore after that, and okay. Oh, I-84 13. Okay. So the dandelion roots be more bitter. Oh, okay. It probably would be bitter. Um, but bitterness doesn't really bother me much, actually. I guess because, like, I like things that have an acquired taste. Yeah. Oh, that makes sense with beets. They're high in carbs. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, that drink, it was good, but that's like a once, I think I would say once a year. It's only if, like, you really crave beets. I don't know. If you ever happen to. Yeah, I got that beet latte recipe from this one YouTube channel called what was it? It was a vegan channel. I think it was Pure Leaf or Pure Limes, or no, it was called Pickup Lines. That's what it's called, Pickup Lines. And she does like vegan recipes, and they were just like unusual hot drinks that I thought were interesting. She had like probably better drinks, other recipes because like five of them, and excuse me, the one I try is the beach one, which is kind of funny because our other drinks actually sounded really good. It was like chai chocolate, like hot chai, but with chocolate in it, and then this other one was a turmeric milk type of drink, and then this other one was a apple cider. And my goodness, apple cider is definitely one of my favorite drinks because I really like the tart and sweetness to it. I try to like pumpkin spice. I really did, but like apple cider has always been like my go-to like fun fall drink. Well, I will drink that all year long actually. My other favorite drink is chai. Any type of chai like latte drink. Oh, so 84Y13N. If I like, I do like kombucha actually. It At first it was kind of weird, not gonna lie. I did not expect the carbonation into it. Um, and it actually has alcohol as well. I did like it though. And funny enough, I did. They do have this like at this farmers market I used to go to. They had dandelion kombucha tea, and that tasted great. I've had turmeric one also. I don't have it very often because I guess the alcohol and the carbonation is kind of a weird combination for me, I guess. But it is good. But it's just not something I'll drink on a daily basis. But I do think it's great for once a week. But yeah, I do like it. It's just not every day. But that actually sounds good right now, actually. And it's also a nice way to have something fermented, because it's good for your gut as well. But you don't really want to have to eat sauerkraut or yogurt. Really, you can just have that drink, and it's has similar qualities to it, or health benefits, I should say. But I personally like sauerkraut and yogurt too. So there's not many things I don't like really. Um, well, I never cared for grape juice. That's one thing I don't care for. But everything else I really do enjoy. Well, that was good, and then I messed it up. Okay. Well, eh, almost. Kind of. Okay. This is too much space. No, it looks good. Yeah. Yes, I eyeball most of my like this type of building, but I kind of know how much space it. I can visualize how much space they're gonna need once I actually start setting in real life. I mean real life once it's in metal. The space in between the stones that we'll need is at least 0.14 millimeters. So it's not a millimeter, but it's like 1/10 of a millimeter. That's how small I'm talking about. Oh, so 8413. It's not typically high in alcohol, usually under 1%. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that it's a great drink when you feel sick. Okay. Oh, that's a good. Oh, that's a good idea. Every one I've tried though has been carbonated. Maybe I'm not sure why. I didn't know that there was some that wasn't. I remember the first one I had was at this one grocery store I really liked. Um, I think it was a pomegranate one, and that one in particular was super high in carbonation, and I guess it was just such an unusual drink for me that it was kind of weird at the time. But the others were just a bit more like subtle as far as the flavors. I remember that one was kind of heavy, but I think it's because like the process was new at the time when it came out. But yeah, I never thought about getting it while you don't feel well. That's a good idea. Especially they have like ginger ones out there. You could have that instead of ginger ale. I'll definitely try to remember that next time I get sick, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Alright, I'm almost done with this side. Almost. Something that's kind of weird that I like is when it comes to my hot drinks is I always prefer my drinks hot for the most part. I don't really like drinks that have ice in them or really cold, for the most part. But I grew up in a cold climate, so for like my drinks really warm. So, but what I mean by weird is that I prefer them really hot. Like I prefer like I usually have all my tea and coffee just like fizzing a bit because like how hot that I'll make it. I like it boiling hot. But I used to drink coffee and tea kind of like almost burnt because I like the temperature that warm. Um, but then I started um, making my coffee and tea to the correct temperature to probably enjoy the flavor more. Nobody else I know can drink drinks that hot except my mom really. And but now my drinks taste better. I don't have them as hot anymore. But sometimes like I do have this one cup that I like, and it's an ember cup, and I can like make sure it gets to like I can manually change the temperature how I want it. And I guess my favorite temperature is 140 degrees. Um, well, I don't remember if it's Fahrenheit or Celsius. I have to look on the app again. I think it's gonna be Fahrenheit though. I don't know. But it's like the nice sweet spot. I've always been that way though. Okay. One more, and then I think I'm good. Maybe. Yeah, I think I'm good. It's at the edge, yes, but I am gonna add more material at the end because we're gonna need something for the bottom of the ring. What I might do is either continue the loops at the bottom, and I've done that before with the previous ring I've done, or I might have it straight. I'll see how that looks. Alright, we got this, and now we're gonna have to do the prongs next. There we go. Sorry if I moved my piece so much. The ring, I meant. I don't mean to make everybody dizzy. I made myself dizzy a little bit there. Because, I don't know, I like to look at the ring from all angles constantly, but however, I tend to get kind of distracted in other parts, and then I get too, like, disoriented or I get like too focused in on some areas too much. So as long as I get this part done, then I can like start working on making these shapes a little bit more organic. Alright, let's do this now. Oh, I forgot to press the button. I pressed Alt to make a copy, and then I could just kind of, alright, I need to hide the orange so it'll be easier to see what I'm doing. Ugh, I mistake kind of. Oh, I thought I had it. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Alright, now for the next one. Alright. I think of other drinks that are kind of fun but different. I do like, let's see. I've recently just started like drinking turmeric tea recently, and man, that's got a lot of health benefits actually. Lately, it's just been really nice to enjoy. And one thing is, I use it in my like dark mugs because turmeric, like the orange color, is so strong that it's like difficult to wash out in. And I still have this like kit I got from it's like this Indian tea company called Bottom or something, like spelled with a VAHDAM. And it's like high tea. Like they actually get the tea leaves themselves and then package it up and mail it to you. It's not a subscription service, but it's just a really nice company where you can kind of select. They have like probably 20 or 30 different teas, and I got to have a kit of them as like an advent calendar, which is pretty cool. It's a really cool gift, and I got to enjoy it all through like December. I made little videos about it on my channel just because like the little hobby I like to do is try out new teas. The other company I really enjoy is this one company in Seattle called Queen Mary, and they have this special tea blend because I have yet to find it anywhere else. But it's called. This is probably one of my favorite teas ever. I mean, I have a lot of favorite teas. This one is like really, really good. It's called Lemon Chiffon, and I think what they blended in, I think it's got lemon and blueberry, and type of. Well, what's interesting about it is very creamy. I have not been able to find that tea anywhere else, or that blend. So I think it's just unique to them. It's a small little tea company in Seattle specifically. But yeah, they're called Queen Mary. And the tea is like a good price too. Like, you can get like a nice like can of them for $20. It'll last a long time too. But I recommend everybody. Like, I really do feel fancy when I drink it. I try to like hold on to it as long as I can. And it tastes really good with just cream as well. You can add sugar, but you don't really necessarily need it, or maybe that's just me. Ooh, 84Y13 Vietnamese coffee. You know, I heard of that for the first time in this one YouTube channel called Brittany Brusky. She's very funny. She made Vietnamese coffee as one of her like videos. And it actually sounded really good. So the grounds are steeped in a cup, or thin as it's called, over ice and sweetened condensed milk. It's chocolate, sweet, milky, and not great for you, but it's delicious. Oh, okay. That's how it's made. Interesting. Okay. I definitely want to try that out, actually. I saw a little video of it, and it actually looked really good. And after Brittany made it, that was like one of her favorite ones. She made other teas, or not teas, coffees from around the world, I think. That was her video. Yeah. Yeah, my mom and sister and I, we would drink tea a lot as it's just something fun to do and talk. And so I have a lot of fond memories associated with tea, and it always makes me feel like happy and relaxed. And my grandparents, they actually used to grow, like, run a coffee farm at one point. They used to kind of make their own coffee for a while, where they used to live in Hawaii, and they make like authentic Hawaii coffee. At least until it's no longer in business anymore, but when they used to have it, man, it was just good. I was kind of a snob when it comes to coffee for a while, just because I would compare any cup of coffee I would have to theirs, and it just wouldn't really compare to them. There's just like a lighter blend, how they used to do it, and it was very smooth, but it wasn't very heavy on the caffeine. I do miss it. I don't get to enjoy it anymore. It's been a long time since I had it. I haven't found a good replacement of it yet. But I have one opinion on like coffee, I guess, that may not everybody probably will share it. It's probably unpopular, but now I will go to Starbucks if it's like available or something and they're everywhere and if there's nobody else, but I really prefer more local coffee shops. They usually just have better teas and coffee in general, and they put a bit more effort into their recipes. And I used to be a fan of Starbucks. I was, I but I don't really like them anymore because all their drinks have been just so watery. And I know it didn't used to be like that. It's like, well, 5 years ago, I used to drink them a lot for about a year, and then a year later, it changed. And I prefer my favorite drink for them was their chai latte. And yeah, it's very popular, but I really enjoyed it. But I would have that, and then I would have it from other local coffee shops, and it would just have a lot more flavor and cream to it. And I noticed, like, over time, their Starbucks chai latte was just, it never really improved. It just stayed kind of watery. And it was like $6 for medium size, and then I would pay just $1 from local coffee shops, and I would just get way more flavor. So ever since then, I just kind of been not very happy with them, and just kind of when I can, I try to go elsewhere for that drink specifically. And I did try to like the normal coffee, but the flavor tastes a little bit. I'm not saying it's burnt, but similar to it. And I really wanted to like their Fernando brand. I think it's what it was called. It's like a blonde roast, but I just it tasted just like all their other coffees. I don't know. Maybe okay, that probably sounds like I don't know. Probably not. Other people may not like what my opinion on it, or like probably am not saying. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is not everybody probably would agree with me on that, but I just think they could do better than what they have been. Oh, 8413. Orders are I always order light ice whenever I get anything from Starbucks, even when I usually get a chai latte. Oh, okay. Yeah, it probably would taste better with ice. But like I said, I prefer my drinks hot, so I usually always get a hot chai latte. But yeah, it probably would taste better with ice, honestly. Now, I did like their. Now, this was a limited coffee line, but I did appreciate like their apple, crispy apple macchiato. I think it was. It's only in the fall, but I did like that. But their coffee flavor was a little too. I'm not gonna say heavy, but it overpowered the apple. That was my only complaint with it. But I did kind of like that. It was something a little different besides just a pumpkin spice drink. Uh, and the other drink I tried from Starbucks recently was their olive oil latte. I don't know, that was terrible for me anyway. I mean, I could see why maybe some people would like it, but I hated it actually. It was like I had a normal cup of coffee and I just poured olive oil into it. It was just a bit odd. But I do like to try new things like that, so. But at the same time, I'm scared too because what if I hate it? And that was one of the times I hated it. Ah, I'm almost there. Getting there. Okay. Darn it. Yeah. I don't know why it's doing that. It's just kind of being a little annoying, frustrating. There we go. Did that help? I don't know, maybe a tad. Alright. Oh, I always like to check my work, even though I did one thing, as if it changed drastically, but I guess it's like a little boost of like, oh, I'm making progress. Because one thing about jewelry is that I do believe it's probably one of the tedious jobs in the world. Well, maybe not in the world, but one of the most tedious jobs out there. I know I do like tedious work because I like to just kind of be in the zone and daydream and stuff while I work on pieces like this and stuff like that. And I never really minded it really. Oh shoot, darn it. Okay, there we go. I forgot to make a copy of it. There we go. And let's see. There was a time, like, I believe last year, I did do the keto diet temporarily for a bit. And they have this thing where you can make bullet coffee, which is like coffee that has butter in it and maybe heavy whipping cream, but like, then they throw in this stuff called MCT oil. It's like, it could be kind of like a meal replacement or something. Uh, it helps since you're kind of more hungry when you start the keto diet since you can't like live off carbs for a while. I mean, the coffee it helped, but it didn't taste very good. So I had to like add more cream to it, but like use a little bit of sweetener to help it taste a little better. Like it's useful, but it's not really the best tasting coffee. Now this other coffee I tried was this protein coffee. Now that does I don't know the kind I bought it did not taste very good, but it really helped with helping me get like sufficient protein in the morning. So I'm trying to like up my protein intake for breakfast because I don't always like get enough to eat in the morning like I should be. But yeah, that did not taste very good at all. But I just figured, well, it will help nourish me in the meantime. But not even cream helped it. But it wasn't really homemade. It was a blend that I bought. When I do drink a lot of coffee, I get like using my Keurig. My Keurig has a frother, so I can like make lattes at home, which is fun. Oh, we're almost there. Okay. Yeah. Adjust this a little bit. And I think I'm done with this section. Alright. Oh, that makes me happy. Oops. Dang it. Here we go. There we go. Oh, well, I thought I was. Gotta. Okay. Alright. Hooray! Ugh. We made great progress today. Look how it's coming along. Alright. So the next thing, I'm going to delete this. And I'm going to make another one, but it's going to be smaller. Let's see. I'm going to try a quick radius 0.6. Oh, no. I guess I picked the wrong tool. Maybe 0.4? Okay. I'm gonna need to make it rounded. More so. Okay, great. We'll do the same thing on this one. Okay. I'm gonna change the color to there we go. Ugh, no, I don't want that color. Let's change it to a different green. I don't know, maybe that's a little too bright. Let's try this one. Oops. Oh, okay, great. Alright, so I have them set like this. Now, how are the other pieces looking? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I might actually make this a bit thinner. It's gonna be the same thickness as this one. Although part of me is like still thinking that this is too thin, but I will adjust it later if I need to. There we go. Okay. Alright. Sorry for the noise if you hear anything. So this weekend I plan to make a small area and add some like foam pads to help eliminate some extra sound. I don't have that set up yet. I'm gonna have a nice comfy chair in it too. And it's gonna be just for streaming. Alright. Oh, let me check out the drawing I have. That's gonna go with this. Okay. Alright. I'll start with this section. I'm gonna bring back the stone. And I'm gonna shift it over to the edge a bit. So this part that I'm doing is kind of more like, I wouldn't say like sculpting, but just manipulating the metal, I guess would be metal, to kind of get the certain look that I want. Okay. Oh goodness. I don't know what people are doing this. Alright. I'm not too worried about the weird like kinks and stuff. Like that's actually it's gonna be helpful for the look that I'm trying to achieve because when I get the shapes of it correctly, I'm gonna make this look nature like tree branch look. And then once I get the shade, then I'm gonna add the textures. Now I do use a different program to add the actual tree branch texture. So I don't have it set up to where I'll be able to show that. Hopefully one day I will be. But this part is going to be the most crucial, otherwise it's just kind of going to look kind of messy. I am going to thicken this up a bit. Actually I'm going to start here. And then I'm going to keep going. Alright, that's right. I meant to add some blocks to give these some support, because that's going to need more than just this part. Okay. We'll just make a little box. What color do I want? I guess I'll do pink. Or orange. Yeah, I'll do a different, like, orangey color. Yeah, I'll do that one. Okay. Okay, this one looks like it's gonna have plenty of support, but I'm gonna move this over. But I don't want it to get too, like, weird looking. Okay. I need to add a little bit more form to it. Maybe. There we go. Okay. I'm still going to add a tiny box in this area. Okay. Still plan to probably hide this, but at least it has some support. Should I? Hmm. 'Cause, 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 I could just move this also. So I was originally thinking, but I might still try to do it actually. Maybe. I didn't want it to be that much. Still want some form. I think I will change it a bit. Let's see. It's starting to look organic, but I think I will keep the box there. And then I can, like, let's see. Alright. I like where it's going. But I definitely need to add some sections to where this can all just sort of be easier to polish later and I don't have too many, like, unusual pieces. That's the tricky part too, is there's all these nooks and crannies that we have to, like, polish, and a good jeweler will polish everything, very, like, as much as possible, but other jewelry companies, they don't, or other jewelers, sometimes they don't always polish every single section of it. It'll just, like, polish just the prongs or the outside, and then neglect everything else in here. And really, you're gonna want everything to be polished. Otherwise, it's just gonna look kind of not its best. Okay, so I'm adding some shape to it now. Might need to pull out some like photos of tree branches to get some. I don't want the shape to be distorted too much. I still want to have its fine jewelry like into it. Actually, this probably held pretty well. This one needs a bit more help. So I'm gonna add a small box. A really, really small box. Oops. Okay. Well, it's gonna be a little larger than that. Okay. This way has some support. And I don't want this covered up that much. So, alright, so I was working on this one, yeah. I got carried away with this side. And then I neglected this side. Alright. So these are sitting on here. Will this fit? Or is it okay? It is on there. I'm thinking on just adjusting just a hair. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna start. Alright. Move this over here. Oops. Okay. Alright. Sorry, I got distracted there for a bit. I'm trying to think if I need to move this closer to here or not. I think I might actually. And then I will be able to move this closer. There. Like that. So it can have a little bit more of a support. See how this will look. Yeah, it can kind of work. It looks more like a snake than a tree branch, but like I said, I haven't put the texture in yet. Alright. Now let's take a look at the picture that I have. Let's see. It's not quite there yet. Okay. This needs to be up way more. Oops. Yeah, I need to have this to be less. I don't want it to be that much. Okay. Alright, so this side, I kind of like where this is going, but I am going to tuck this in a bit more. Okay. Oops. You're not that much. Oh, hi, Rachulo. Let's see. Oh, this process takes hours. Yeah. So it's gonna be like branches on leaves. I can't show my sketch up yet. I don't have the program set to the drawing program, but yes, the idea is definitely gonna be tree branches. I'm just creating the shape of it first, and then once I'm done, I'm actually gonna create textures. But I'll have to use a different program for that. So, for example, I'm just getting the shape right now, but when I actually apply the texture, I'll kind of just be taking the lines here and then just creating little dips. But it'll be like a lot more drastic than that. Okay. Alright. Okay. This needs to be less out there. So I'm going to tuck this in a little more. And I don't like how this came out. So I'm going to need to change this. I like it even less. So, okay. Like that's kind of a little better. This is too bent, so I'm gonna make it to where it's a little bit less straight and more curved. There we go. Right. I do like where this is at, but it probably could use a little bit more like shape to it. Oh, yes. Thanks, Richilo. I appreciate that. Yes, the final product will be a lot better than how it looks right now. It looks kind of out there. Excuse me, sorry. But I had a. Oh, I'm so sorry. I need to change the fix the music real quick. Turned off. Okay, there we go. I made maple necklaces for the fall, and I actually have a video on that if you want to check it out. Okay. What was I doing? Oh, that was weird. Let me change that. That didn't help at all. I don't know. There we go. That helps. Okay. This needs to be less flowy and more, well, more like it's grabbing onto something, particularly the center stone. Okay, so I'm going to need to add a dip into here. Mm-hmm. Come on. Alright. Oh, there we go. Oh, thank you, 8413. Yeah, those went very well. Um, the cat portion on that, I didn't have that recorded. I just now started recording the ad design portion. Um, but majority of that work was really in the lettering. I had to just go through every single letter and thicken up certain spots in the calligraphy. Otherwise, um, that could be very difficult to cast. Sometimes the letters would fill in. Sometimes the gold will move into the mold when it's really hot, and the mold won't hold its shape. So lettering's always been very difficult to achieve through that. So I'm really proud of those two rings. They went very well. Oh, repeatedly, yes. So, sorry, Mr. Message. I have a video on the maple necklaces, is what I meant to say. Video. Yes, sometimes I don't pronunciate my words as well. I tend to, well, not mumble, but I kind of don't enunciate what I'm talking about too well always. I need to get better at that. Oh, I missed your other message. You're gonna get coffee. Okay. Let me know when you got your coffee, and I'll tell you I have a video on those necklaces. Oh, alright. This might actually be more tedious than the stones I just did. Hopefully not, but this might actually become more tedious. Let's see. Oh yeah, I need to get the shape of this part. I need to curl this a bit more. Okay. Yeah, do this. Curl it. Like that. I think I need to... Ugh, how do I do that? Oh, there we go. Maybe that got a little too cute right there. Okay, it's starting to look a little bit more tree branch like. Okay, and this one I think I might do. I think I have to curl this one a bit more. Ah, right. Okay. There we go. Okay. Should I tuck this in or focus on this part? Let's see. Let me check out my drawing. I didn't really. I guess I was just gonna do one prong or maybe two. Alright. Yeah, I might actually do. I'll tuck this in and then just curl it out a bit more. Let's see. I need to check something real quick. Alright. Okay. Alright, so back to this. Alright. Actually might, well, I don't know. I might curl this here. Need to hide the stone. I might just move it up top here in the center or keep it tucked in. Let's see what will look better. Something like that. Yeah, actually might do it. Kind of. And then I am going to move the top prong of this one to a little bit further down so it's not, they're not next to each other, so it has a little bit more of a balance. Maybe something like that. Okay, I am liking what's happening. Or it's not super symmetrical, but it looks like it's plenty of support. This probably could be a little less thick, but yeah, I think it'd be fine. Yeah, I think I might make this a little, have a little more form. Just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll get rid of this stone down here. I don't think I'll need that. I'll keep this one. I'm trying to think if it needs a little bit more. I might keep it where it's at. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of a small area in between here. I guess like looking at the shape now, I kind of like where it's at actually. Yeah. This is usually where I would stop for the shape of the tree branch style, and then I will add the actual texture to it. On this program, I used to use Mesh Mixer. That did very well. I might try to see if it'll work there again, but I got this new one called ZBrush. It's like a ZBrush Mini. Small little demo. Is the design process the longest part? Chilo, it's actually it's not as long as the bench work and the setting. The setting and all the other soldering, and once it's finished casting, that takes much longer than design. Design process takes about, depends on what I'm working on, but for me, it can take anywhere between 4 hours to 10 hours just on the design. And believe it or not, that's actually quite short. What it used to be, jewelers actually used to hand make everything before CAD. The CAD design was actually pretty recently. I'm talking like maybe 20 years. We've had it for about 20, maybe 25 years. That's new for the jewelry world. And before they used to hand make everything. And there's some jewelry stores that still specialize in handmade pieces, but it just takes too long. For example, if I was to hand make this piece, the old-fashioned way, it would take me probably around 3 or 4 days to put all the pieces together and to add all the texture. Versus me, I'll just spend like I don't know, like less than that. Yeah, way less than that versus, and I just set it off to get it cast, and then I take it back and finish the rest. So it does cut off a lot of hours. So that's kind of why we all kind of switched over to CAD design. And plus, you can always have a model ready made over and over again. What they used to do to recreate models is they used to cast the piece originally, and then they make a rubber mold off of it. Well, the problem is they start to wear out. They can last forever, but like they're kind of a pain to just keep reusing. I know it's kind of hard to realize because they're not showing everybody how that works, but yeah, this probably would take me 4 days to make by hand, I imagine, or 5 days. Maybe that's being generous. I think maybe I'm just being optimistic. It'd probably take longer than that. I know a couple jewelers that work in some really high-end stores that specialize in just handmade pieces. There are some customers that will want specifically handmade, but it takes way longer, so it's more expensive having it done that way. So it's really just a preference, and there's some shops in Australia that still do that as well. The jewelers used to be way more involved in the design and the craftsmanship. Now it's kind of gotten more automated, and jewelers continue becoming more automated. Oh, let's see. Should I get the gems pre-cut because I work with the metal? I just play a lot of puzzles for 2 hours. My brain is fried. That's casting. Okay. So yeah, the gems are pre-cut. Yes. Now I do know how to cut the gems myself as like another skill, but I specialize in stone setting really and custom jewelry. And so my suppliers will pre-cut the gems. This gem right here, this is going to be a 3-carat alexandrite. It's actually being cut right now for this ring, which is pretty cool. Now, that's going to take about like 5 weeks for them to complete, and then I will get it, and then I get to set it. And oh yeah, so pre-cutting gems takes a very long time because we actually have to manually like cut every single little facet. I'm trying to think what else I need to do for the top parts. I like where it's at. I might tweak some things here and there, but I'm really happy where it's at for now. And then, so really I just need to create the bottom part. Um, so casting is, to answer your question, casting is a process where I have the piece of wax and I put it in a cylinder of plaster, similar to plaster of Paris. And then it hardens and the wax melts in an oven. That takes about all night. And then I melt the metal into like a lava form and I pour it into the plaster. And then it pours into the where the wax used to be, and then I get a metal ring. And we're having some like new this new technology I've heard that may not come out until like 10 years or 20 years when they finally like finish it. I've heard that they're experimenting with 3D printing metal. I find that to be interesting because that would mean that I would it would just be way more accurate to I wouldn't have as much problems with casting anymore. Casting is a very difficult process. Alright, so I appreciate everybody for joining me tonight and watching me work, and hope everybody enjoyed watching me work on this ring and as much as I did, and I'll see everybody next time. I'll have probably a new project or maybe this one, and but anyways, I appreciate everybody for watching, and everybody has a great rest of your week.